Hi, this is Corral again. Let me share my screen. Okay. Now we're going to look at words which needed no inflections. That is, you don't have to add anything to the ending of it or the beginning of it. More anything, the ending of it, in order to change its meaning, in order to change, either to change its meaning or its function. These are words that are not only are able to be nouns and verbs at the same time, depending on where they're located in the sentence and depending on the context of the sentence, but also they are able to be nouns, verbs, and sometimes even adjectives. So understand this, the same word can be a noun, can be a verb, can be an adjective. Now remember, these all play different functions. Not only do they have different meanings, but they play different functions in a sentence or in a statement or in a form of communications. So let's just go over it really quickly. A noun is the name of a person, place, thing, or idea, which is very different than what a verb is. The most important part of any sentence, if it is a sentence, right? If it is an utterance, the most important part is the verb. Understand this, without the verb, there is no sentence. And what is a sentence? A sentence is a complete idea. So without the verb, there is no complete idea. Now, sometimes, depending on the context, the verb is understood. Okay, the verb is understood, but that's only in very particular contexts. So, a verb is the action. It is what the subject of the sentence is doing. Or if it's passive, it's what is being done to the subject of the sentence. But without a verb, there is no sentence. And a sentence is a complete idea. Then you have an adjective. An adjective describes. There's different kinds of adjectives, but generally speaking, an adjective describes. And what does it describe? It describes a noun. And what is a noun? A noun is person, place, thing, or idea. Now, an adjective describes who is doing the action. If you say it's a little boy, then that tells me something, but not maybe everything that I need to know. You say it's a little boy, it's a little boy. No, you say it's a boy, I'm sorry. It's a boy. What kind of boy? Well, he's little in the sense that he's young, but he's tall. He's taller than one would think someone would be of his age. So you're telling me that he's little or young? Maybe young would be a better word. He's a young boy. Young, let's say young being, because boys by very definition is young, but young, let's say he's 6, 7 years old, right? Because somebody can be 17 years old and be a boy, right? At least legally speaking, but he's young. Okay, that's giving me an idea. I know more or less now know the age limit. What else do I need to know in order to maybe recognize the child? Well, he's Black. Okay, so I know his race. So I'm not going to be looking for someone who's Chinese, or for example, or maybe someone who is white, or someone who is Japanese. I can't say not someone who's Latino, because there are a lot of Black Latinos. Latinos who would look the same as a Black American. And then there are Latinos who are darker, and then there are Latinos who are lighter, because Latino, that is, Mexican, Argentinian, Colombian, that's just a country. Anybody can come from that country, right? But that tells me, so I can't say I can eliminate someone who, if I walk up to him, he speaks Spanish, I'm going, oh, well, I'm not talking about you. Okay, now, if you say that he is skinny, okay, now that's limiting even more. So that's what an adjective does. It modifies, it limits the, what's the word? It limits the, it limits the, in a sentence, it either limits the subject or the object of the sentence. Whatever is a person, place, thing, an adjective can be used to modify it, to give you a better idea of what or who, of what or of who. Okay, now an adverb is different. An adverb describes either another adverb or it describes an action, where an adjective describes, modifies a person, place, thing, or idea. An adverb modifies or describes the action that the person does. Or it can modify the modifier of that action. Let me just give you an example, because then it gets really confusing. Okay, so you say, the boy runs fast. Okay. Oh no, the boy runs. The boy runs. I always give the adverb when I'm not supposed to. The boy runs. Or the boy walks. Okay, so he walks to the store. Well, how does he walk to the store? Does he walk quickly? Does he walk slowly? Does he walk lazily? I don't want to go to the store. I gotta go to the store. Attentively, he's going to the store, and you can tell that's where his mind is. His mind is his goal, and the goal is the store. So you're telling me the boy walks to the store, but you're also telling me how he walked. You're giving me more of a description, not of the boy, but how the boy does the action that he's doing. So that's why it's different that in English, sometimes the same word that describes a person, place, thing, or idea are the same word that is the person, place, action, or idea, or the same word that describes the person, place, or thing. They all can be the same word. And a lot of languages, that's not possible. There could be coincidences, but as a rule, that's not possible, because in many languages, each function has its own inflections. Each function has its own inflections. So each function has its own endings. So when you see a verb, you recognize the verb. This is very clear in Spanish. When you see in Spanish, first place you have to decide whether it's an AR verb or ER verb or IR verb. And then once you do that, then you have to look at the endings to recognize whether you're talking about the present and the past. You see, all those endings give you information. Sometimes that's true in English. When you see ly in English, not always, but many times, that's an adverb. So sometimes when you see an adjective and that adjective, for example, happy, and then you see that same word happy, but now you see it with the inflection ILY, you know that that's the adverb of happy. Or when you see the adjective slow, and then it ends in ly, that's the did I say adjective? That's the adverb. I'm sorry, did I say adjective for happy? That's the adverb, excuse me, for the adjective happy. When you see it in happily. So the happy child does his work happily. Nobody says that, but when you see slow, so the slow child. So now when you say slow, you're describing the child. But when you say he does his work slowly, you're not describing the child, you're describing how the child does his work. And in English, many times you can recognize an adverb by the ly, but the problem is it's not a rule. That's not always the case. So, you know, I'm going to just leave this particular video standing on its own, and then I'll come, because otherwise it's going to be too long. And then I'll come back and we'll look at freaky English noun and verb, noun, a verb, and an adjective. But let me just leave you with this. The word that I use a lot to show what I'm talking about is the word fine, F-I-N-E, fine, F-I-N-E. Fine can be a noun. The judge gave me a fine of $500. Fine, F-I-N-E. Right? He is a fine young man. F-I-N-E. There I'm describing the young man. Versus when the judge gave me a fine, like he gave me a punishment which says I must pay $500. That's a thing, right? And let me see, so I gave you a verb. Oh, let me give you the adverb. Someone says to you, "Hi, Corella, how are you doing?" My response is, "Fine, thank you." Now they want me to describe how I am doing. How am I? I'm fine, thank you. The last one, which I should have made first, would be the verb. The policeman the judge. I want to go back to that judge. The judge will fine me for my actions. I know the judge will fine, F-I-N-E, for my action. He will give me a punishment in which I will have to pay a certain amount of money. So you have F-I-N-E noun, F-I-N-E, what did I say? Adjective, F-I-N-E, adverb, and F-I-N-E, verb. First, I should have done verb first. Because that's, because you should always put the verb first, because that's the most important part of a sentence, right? And I can't think of it now, but I know there are words that are all of those things, plus preposition, maybe. Right? I just can't think of one right now. So I'm going to come back and we're going to look at the cards in which we're going to look at one word and We're not going to change anything. We're not going to change the beginning with a prefix. We're not going to change the ending with an inflection or with a suffix. And that word is going to play 1, 2, or maybe 3 functions. So this is Coralla Ficklin at Welcome, WYLCOME, welcome.com. Thank you for coming to my videos. Thank you for coming to my websites. Thank you for coming to my platform. I hope that you share my videos, and I also hope that you will subscribe. So let me stop sharing and say thank you very, very much. Have a good day. Bye.